Hello guys, my name's JD. I'm the neurophysio from Bridge for Rehab. Today we're going to be doing some exercises, a very light impact exercise session. As always, if you have any injuries, if you feel unwell at any point, please ease down from doing the exercises. I would say if you do this exercise session, it's probably sensible to have someone with you, or at least let someone know you're doing it in case you do feel unwell at any point. If you need to pause the video at any time to rest, do so. Don't expect you to do the whole thing through. And probably the best suggestion is to watch the video from start to finish initially so you can see all the activities that we're going to be doing. Okay? So the first thing I want us to do is just warm up a little bit. So we're just going to start off with a little bit of marching on the spot. So we're just going to lift our knees. Bringing those knees up, standing nice and tall. Good stuff. And then all I like to do is bring those heels up at the back. So as you go from side to side, bringing those heels up. Keep facing me, I'm just showing you from the side what it looks like, bringing those heels up at the back. We are just warming up our legs at the moment, getting them moving, and then bring them out. You might have stiff knees and hips from sitting down, so we're just loosening them out. Okay, next up guys, we're going to have a nice reach up in the air, so I want you to reach up as tall as you feel you can with those arms, pulling the stomach in, and then slowly you're going to bring the arms down. You're going to put your chin on your chest and you're going to roll forwards, and just allow yourselves to hang forwards. Your knees can be soft. We're not necessarily doing a stretch, but we're just getting a feel for bringing the body down towards the ground. I'm going to bring myself up slowly, and I'm going to reach up. Once again, nice and tall, stretching up through the arms, chest up, stomach in. Deep breath there, bringing the arms down, breathing out, staying nice and loose. Slowly going down towards the feet. Feeling that stretch in the back of the legs a little more, and then coming up slowly and standing tall. Okay guys, next up we're going to use the shoulders. So I want you to rotate those shoulders backwards. Nice big circles. Opening up those shoulders. A lot of the time if we sit down, we're working on computers, or we're stressed, or we've got a lot of stuff going on, we harbour a lot of tension in the shoulders. So it's quite important that we rotate the shoulders every now and again just to loosen out that tension. So you're just going to shake those shoulders from side to side. Move those shoulders up and back. Okay guys, next we're going to open out the chest. So I want you to take your arms wide and you're going to bring them in. Give yourselves a pat on the back for doing this video. Excellent to see you guys active and moving at home. Good stuff guys. So as you're moving, you should be nice and relaxed and making sure you're breathing. Don't hold your breath. I'm going to do one arm up, one arm down. Same thing again, just working in a comfortable range. If you can't reach up as high, don't worry about it, just go as far as you feel you comfortably can. Fantastic work guys, good stuff. Okay, you're going to stand with your shoulder width apart, hands on the hips, and we're just going to do some small circles of the hips. So we're loosening out that lower back. Letting that weight travel from hip to hip, and pretending that we're somewhere on a beach maybe, doing the hula. Do people actually do that? I'm not sure, I've heard they do. We're going to change direction. Nice big circles. Once again, loosening out those hips and the legs. Okay guys, side to side, so you're going to go down to one side and down to the other side. Nice and slow and steady. And we are still just warming up guys, so we're just moving, we're waking up the body, and if we have laid down for a long time or sat in a posture for a long time, we stiffen up. So all we're looking at doing here is just moving the body in a slightly different way, limbering up, letting the joints know that they're going to be moving, let the heart rate come up a little bit, so we're pumping that blood around the body, and also taking some deep breaths to get that oxygen in and around to all those muscles and those organs that need it. Fantastic stuff, guys, and relax. Okay, so just shaking out the legs. Okay, next up, guys, we're going to do a bit of stepping practice. So we're going to start with the feet together. You can use your left or right foot, it doesn't really matter. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to step forwards, and as I step forwards, I'm going to make sure that my knee stays in line with my foot. I'm then going to step my feet back together again. I'm then going to step out 45 degrees forwards, feet back in, step out to the side, feet back in, backwards 45. When you do this, make sure there's nothing behind you, no animals or little children or pets or anything like that. Going back 45, backwards completely, and then I'm going to change legs. So I'm going to step backwards with the other leg, backwards 45 degrees, out to the side, forwards 45 degrees, forwards completely, and back in. Okay, guys. Now, if you found it difficult to step out in any different direction, so let's say if you found it difficult and you felt off balance on this side, what I want you to do is not neglect that step, but take a slightly smaller step. So if I stepped out here and I was off balance, what I would do is step out in the same direction, but make it a smaller step until I get used to that, and then bit by bit, make it a bit longer so I'm keeping that control. Very often people have a direction they don't feel as comfortable stepping out in, and instead of ignoring it or not working on it, it's important to actually practice with it. So make it easy and comfortable to begin with, and then the more you practice it, the better you should get at finding those areas that you struggle stepping out with. Okay, next up we're going to step out in some different directions now. So whereas we did a pattern before, we're just going to step out in a few different directions. So it can be backwards, forwards, it can be a small step, it can be a long step. You can step out to the side, you can move a bit quicker if you want, but we're just trying to vary the different steps we take. And now we're warming up some of our balance, we're warming up some of the things that help us know the position of our feet in relation to the rest of our body, as well as our knees and our hips. So we're thinking about keeping good form, good balance as we move forwards and backwards. Great stuff, guys. Lovely jubbly. Keep that going. Good stuff. Okay, shake out the arms, shake out the legs. Okay, guys, next up we're going to do some balance work. So, very simply with the balance, I want you to work to the degree you feel comfortable. So, to start off with, if you're able to, if you can just take one foot off the floor gently, so just lifting the toe, you're going to hold that position there, okay, at the very least. If you can't do that, what you can do is have something nearby. So for example, a chair. So you can hover your hand over the chair, or you can even hold onto the chair slightly for a bit of support initially, and then change foot. And as you become more comfortable, you can take the hand away, but the chair is always there if you do need it for balance. So at a base level, that's what you're going to be looking at doing. Just holding it for 3 to 5 seconds on each foot. Now, if you're quite comfortable with that, what you're going to do is lift the leg a little higher. So I'm going to bring the knee upwards, balance on that one leg, hold it 3 to 5 seconds and down, changing legs, lifting up that leg, and back down, lifting up the leg, and down, lifting up the leg, and down, the leg again, and down. Okay guys, the next level to that now, and with this video, if you start off, work at the level you feel comfortable with, but the more you practice this, hopefully the better you'll get at it. The next level is balancing on one leg, getting your knee to about roughly your hip level and bringing your arms up. From here, I'm going to go opposite hand to the knee or the leg that I'm balancing on. I'm going to reach through and touch my knee and then come back up. And what I'm going to do is aim to do that 3 to 5 times. If you lose your balance, don't worry, just make sure you're safe. So if you do lose your balance and you have to step out to the side, that's fine, don't worry. Just regain your balance and practice again. You'll be quite surprised how quickly you'll get good at this if you practice it regularly and make sure that you're not exhausting yourself. So do change legs every 3 to 5 reps. So starting off in a balanced position, opposite hand goes to the stance leg, coming back up to that knee, back up to the knee, back up. Excellent. So for the guys that have mastered that and got better at that, to make it harder once again, we can start in the same position, but we can reach down to the shin and back up. And for the guys that are getting really good, we can reach down to the toe and back up. Swapping legs to the shin if you feel the knee's too easy. And finally down to the foot and back up. There. Excellent stuff, guys. Give yourselves a shake off. Have a little breather if you need it, so have a sit down, grab a drink of water. You can pause the video now if you want a bit of a rest, but we're going to carry on in a second. The next thing we're going to look at is squats. So for a lot of people can overcomplicate squats, and really a squat is the way in which you sit down and stand up. So we're going to start off at the base level by sitting down onto a chair. So at home, if you have a chair that you're comfortable to stand up and sit from, then we know it's a good starting point. If you were to try and make this exercise harder, you can find a lower step or a lower chair to sit onto. If you want to make it easier and you find a higher step or maybe the bed, that will make it more comfortable for you. And as always, I recommend you to have good mechanics first with your movements and then gradually make the exercise harder, but make sure you are consistent with those good mechanics before making things too hard. It's better to have good mechanics and be consistent rather than make things really difficult and struggle. So what I'm going to do is stand in front of my chair, feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to stick my bottom back and down but keep my chest up. And for me, I like to put my arms out in front as I do so I control my sit all the way down to the chair, land nice and soft. I can sit back, I can bring myself forwards. As my bum comes off the chair, I drive through the legs and I stand back tall. Stick my bum out, bend the legs, control myself down to the chair. I come forwards, drive through the legs and stand tall. Bum goes back and down, pushing the knees apart, going down, coming forwards, standing tall. So do as many as you feel comfortable with, but what I would say is aim to do 3 to 4 sets of this. So maybe just a couple of reps here and there, see how you feel, and then over time, if you can increase the repetitions you do each set, that's what you're aiming for. I'll show you this squat from the side so you can see the direction in which my bum's traveling. So my bum's going to go back and down. I push my knees apart, keep that chest up. I'm controlling myself down. As I come forwards, I bring my chest forwards, I drive through the legs and stand tall. So notice how I'm always thinking about keeping my chest up. My bum goes back and down as I control that movement, forwards and back there. Excellent work, guys. Once you feel you're more comfortable with that, you can do squats out in the open. So you're looking at the same thing, apart from you're controlling the squat down to wherever feels comfortable and then standing back tall. So squat mechanics, weight in the heels, knees apart, chest up, and controlling the movement all the way down to wherever you feel comfortable and then standing back tall. Okay, guys. Once again, if you found that quite easy, you can use some props at home. Not everyone has access to weights, so as they like to say, here's something I found earlier. You can take a bottle of water, and the beauty with the bottle of water is you can fill it to make it heavier or take water out of it to make it less heavy. I recommend using water over wine for obvious reasons, because before you know it, the bottle will be gone and you will then probably struggle with your balance. So what I'm going to do is stand in front of my chair. I'm going to hold my bottle, both hands at the chest level. I'm just going to sit my bum back and down slowly. Then I'm going to come forwards and up, drive through the legs. Bum goes back and down, pushing the knees apart, coming forwards and up. Bum goes back and down, forward and up. Other household items that you can use for this exercise If you have a cat, you can use cat litter, which is a little bit heavier, so it makes the squat that little bit more interesting. As I go bum back and down, chest up, bum back and down, chest up. But as always, I would work on your squat first of all with nothing, practice doing it, sitting down on the chair and standing back up, getting those mechanics sound, then being able to squat without a chair, so you just go down to a good level and back up, and then finally weighting the squat as you go. Right guys, just shake off your legs and your arms. And we're just going to give ourselves a little bit of a breather from doing some strength work, okay? And we're specifically now going to look at doing some ground touches and reaches. So with my ground touch, the thing I'm looking at is going wide with my legs. I'm going to reach down with my hands, but as I do, I'm going to keep my head up. I'm going to touch the floor, and then I'm going to reach up into the air. So I'm reaching down towards the floor, and then reaching up into the air. Down to the floor, reaching up into the air. I can show you turn to the side. I'm aiming for that angry gorilla posture at the bottom, so bum down, chest up, reaching high, down to the ground, reaching high. Okay, as you do this, if I put my head down, can you see how my back changes shape? So I don't want this curve here. What I'm looking for is that bum down, chest up. And if you can't go all the way to the ground, just go down as far as you feel comfortable. It's important that you are able to maintain your balance here and stand tall. I'd rather you go down to this level here, keeping the chest up, than go down further and then start to struggle with your posture. The other thing you can do to make this a bit more interesting is you can just walk around your living room, and then every now and again, stop where you are, touch the ground, reach up, and then carry on walking. So what we're doing is just mixing in a bit of normal movement with a practice of a skill. And the ideal for this is if you do drop anything on the floor, this is the way in which you're going to pick it up. So if something falls on the floor, you bend those legs, keep the head up, reach for it, and then stand back tall, as opposed to our rounded back, keeping the legs straight and clutching for it there, where we can injure the lower back. Okay guys, very good. Now from that we're going to look now at the deadlift. So the deadlift is picking something up from the floor. Once again, my prop is going to be my bottle. So I'm going to take my bottle, and to start off with, I'm going to put my bottle facing upwards so I don't have to go down as far to reach it. So exactly the same as I did before. I'm going to reach forwards with my feet, my legs apart, reach down towards the bottle, head up. Once I've got my hands on the bottle, I'm going to stand up tall with my legs, pushing through those legs, squeezing my bum at the top of the movement, and then I stick my bum out, bend the legs down. So once again, we're searching for this good posture. We're looking at keeping the chest up as we go down towards the ground, pushing those knees apart, and making sure that we're using the legs to lift. So from the side, my bum goes back and down, I bend the legs, touch the ground, stand tall. Stand tall. There. This is quite easy. I can take the bottle and I can turn it on its side. So now when I put it down on the ground, I've got to reach that extra bit further before I get it. Some of the variations that we can do, we can reach down with one hand and reach it up, pulling it to the shoulder and up, and down, switching hands, pulling it to the shoulder, reaching up. So notice once again how I'm looking for a nice smooth movement over speed, and I'm trying to also think about my control and my balance when I do this. Some other ideas that you could have, if you have any old milk cartons, once again you can fill these to be as heavy or as light as you want. So I can deadlift these, so bending the legs, chest up, touching the ground, standing tall, curling up to the shoulder, pushing them overhead, back down, touching the ground, curling to the shoulder, and up, back down, to the shoulder, and up. Again, putting that into a workout format if you want. Standing tall, walking around with your bottles. And then every now and again, just going down, touching the ground. Standing tall, reaching up. Carry on walking. So you could do 1. Then you could do 2. So that's 1, 2. Have a little walk around. You could go for 3. 1, 2, 3. Then 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So that's got me a little bit out of breath, so I might stop there. So once again, build up these exercises, guys. Don't feel that you've got to do it all at once. It's very much about learning to move and learning to move in a way that is smooth, balanced, and controlled. You'll find that if you do little and often, you'll be able to build up the amount of repetitions you can do comfortably, and you'll also feel that you can possibly lift a little bit heavier in terms of using smaller bottles to bigger bottles. I'd always advocate using something that is a normal weight that you can comfortably lift, as opposed to lifting something that's too heavy. Excellent work, guys. So what we're going to look at doing now is a little cool down after all this exercise. So I'm just going to move these out of the way. And to finish, we're just going to have a reach up nice and high like we did before. So stretching out those arms. And as we're stretched up here, I'm just going to reach over to one side, back to the middle, over to the other side. Back to the middle, over to the other side. Back to the middle, over to the other side. Good, bringing the arms down. Okay, like we did before, we're going to circle those hips. So we're just loosening off the hips and the lower back after all that work we've done today. Change direction. Good stuff, side to side. Good stuff, guys, shaking out the shoulders and the arms. Lastly, we're going to do some circles, some big circles with those shoulders, letting go of all that tension. And we're just going to finish by taking our hands just to shoulder height, opening out the chest, opening out the posture. Taking a deep breath in, and then closing off the posture, closing off the chest. And opening out the posture, opening out the chest. And closing off the posture, closing off the chest, and bringing your arms down. Excellent work, guys. So like I said, have a practice of this video. I would do it a couple of times a week to begin with. Make sure you get plenty of rest, and don't push yourself too hard. It's better to build up over time and to get the techniques right and to move well and to feel good with it than it is to do too much too soon. Excellent work, guys. I'll see you again soon. Take care.